Leaving a narcissist is not just about walking out the door. It's a war that goes on inside of your body, your mind, your soul, and no one tells you how to actually survive leaving it. Today, I'm going to be dropping the real, raw strategy that gets you out alive and the ability to never look back. I'm Meaghan Webster. I'm an abuse recovery coach, a trauma informed therapist, and a woman a narcissist hopes to never meet twice. This is the Narcissist Worst Nightmare podcast, and today we are diving into how to leave a narcissistic abusive relationship safely because your freedom and your life actually depend on it. Here's why just leaving isn't that simple. These are going to be some raw, uncomfortable truths about leaving a narcissist because it's not a single moment. It is a messy, soul-shaking, body-ripping war. And if you think that you can just pack your bags and walk out, this might be some new information to you. Narcissistic abusive relationships rewire your brain, it hijacks your nervous system, and it traps you in a trauma bond that's chemically addictive. Your body screams safety even if your mind screams danger. So they don't just lose control when you leave, they actually ramp up the abuse. Stalking, gaslighting, smear campaigns, threats. Leaving triggers their need to regain control by any means necessary, especially if there's kids, money, or shared assets involved. So leaving safely means planning like a general, moving like a ninja, and protecting every part of your life with fierce precision. My first abusive relationship, I tried to leave 11 times. I had no plan for the first 9. It would be a fight that would end in a physical altercation, and I would go and stay with a friend or rent a room at a hotel, and I'm sure this story is going to sound familiar to you. He would message, he would call and apologize, he would make promises, send crazy long emails, while labeling me as crazy and disrespectful and that it was my fault that we fought. So I would wind up back there, and I repeated that cycle for 4 years. The second last time that I left, I had a plan. A friend was coming to get me for good. My things were packed, and very last minute, they pulled out. I had about an hour window before my boyfriend at the time was going to be home. And this was at the height of the physical abuse. I had bruises all over my body. I couldn't even go to work, and I panicked. I knew that I had to leave, and I ended up, this is going to sound so insane looking back on it now. I ended up posting in a Facebook group that was local to me about my situation. Dozens of women reached out to me. They wanted to make sure I was okay, had I found a place yet, and 2 of them had a place for me to stay. Complete strangers opened their homes to me. I was out for a couple of weeks, and then it happened again. The manipulation, the gaslighting, the coercion, and I went back. The time that I finally left, I was in a recovery community for sobriety. I had become very close with some of the women in the group, and I had told my sponsor at the time what was happening. And she said, I have a room. When you are ready, you tell me and my door will be open. And I always felt so guilty making an exit plan, even if nothing had happened that day or recently. Like I owed him my loyalty and my love still. On my 6 months of sobriety, I had chaired a meeting. 10 minutes before the meeting ended, my phone started lighting up with texts from him. I started to panic, full-blown anxiety. I knew I had to leave, so I rushed out and had someone else close the meeting for me. And I got to the elevator of the building and I thought, fuck this. I worked so hard for that 6 months. And these women were in this room today to celebrate me. So I walked back into the room. I sat down. I didn't say anything, and I continued to close out the meeting, knowing full well I would have physical harm happen the moment that I was home. I went home. He lost it, trapped me inside of the boat where we lived, fully raged out at me physically, and I was gathering things while he did it. I didn't stop. I kept going. I had texted my sponsor that I needed her to come get me. I could already feel my eye was closing, and I knew it would have been unsafe to drive. I went and I stayed with her, and the next day brought 5 people with me to collect my belongings. And I never went back after that. No contact. To this day still, he emails me. The plan of you leaving matters just as much if you are in physical or emotional or financial abuse. All right, enough storytelling for now. Having a plan matters, and I want to share with you what you need to know. So let's get into it. Why leaving a narcissistic, abusive relationship safely is a battle that you did not sign up for. This is going to feel like a full-blown internal war fought between the battle of your body, your brain, and its chemistry. And the real enemy isn't their manipulation, their lies, or their gaslighting. It's going to be the chemical storm that they've ignited in you. The cocktail of the dopamine spikes from their love bombing, the adrenaline highs from their attention, and the crushing cortisol crashes from their cold withdrawals that made you addicted. You are not saying goodbye to a person. You are ripping apart a survival system that your body has clung to. Your nervous system became trained to expect chaos as the norm, fights to keep the connection alive because it believes that is your only safety net. Even when your mind screams get out, your body is locked in a primal battle saying stay alive. That dissonance is why leaving safely is never just that physical move. It is a full nervous system overhaul. And I know you didn't sign up for this fight. You didn't realize your body was training for you to stay chained to invisible handcuffs, afraid to breathe free. But that is the reality. And to win, you need more than courage. You need a plan. You need community, a deep understanding of what's happening inside of you, that support system built to catch you when the chaos starts to hit. Because the truth of this is the trauma bond that keeps you tethered in chemical, physiologically, and psychologically, it's a poison that feels like oxygen. And detoxing from that takes time and strategy and a whole lot of fierce self-love. And here's the holy fuck part that you probably haven't been told. Your brain rewired itself to associate pain and manipulation with reward and safety. That's the cruel genius of narcissistic abuse. Your dopamine receptors got hijacked, firing off every time they tossed you crumbs of affection or gaslit you into doubting your own reality. The roller coaster of, I hate this, but I can't leave, isn't just emotional torture. It's biological chaos. Your adrenal glands flooded your system with adrenaline to keep you alert, to survive the emotional landmine, to keep you walking on eggshells without breaking. But here's the kicker. Your body learned to crave that chaos as if it was air. So when the narcissist pulls away from you, your cortisol spikes trigger panic attacks, sleepless nights, inability to eat, checking their social media, gut-wrenching cravings for their return. This is not weakness. It's survival mode gone rogue. Your body is fighting homeostasis, trying to balance a system that's being flipped upside down. Your immune system will tank. Your sleep patterns will shatter. Your hormones will rage out, all because your biology is working overtime to make sense of the senseless. This battle is raw and unseen and relentless, and that's why walking away without a strategic, body-centered plan will feel impossible. When you understand and have awareness that this is a chemical and physiological war inside of you, the stakes become super clear. You're not walking away from a person. You're walking away from an addiction that's wired in your brain, your body, and your soul. This is a mental game. And this is why rewiring your mind is one of the most important aspects of you leaving. Because the most dangerous thing that you can do is go into leaving with hope that the narcissist will see the light or choose change. Hope is the narcissist's weapon, and that's what keeps you hooked. You must mentally prepare for that fight. That means accepting the truth that this person will not change and you cannot fix them. Prepare for the backlash, emotional, psychological, sometimes legal or physical. Building your internal fortress of self-worth so their lies do not penetrate. This is why your mind, working on your mental toughness, is the backbone of leaving safely. You'll face gaslighting after you leave, from your own memories, from doubters, from the narcissists themselves. And without that armor in front of you, you are going to fall back. Here's the cold, brutal truth. Hope in this context is not a beacon, it's a noose. Hoping that they wake up and see what they're doing is the leash that the narcissist is going to throw at you to keep you tethered in place. It is a trap disguised as salvation. When you walk out that door clutching hope, practically begging to be pulled back in, you're stepping into a minefield, and that emotional false hope is a spark that's going to set it off. Before you even plan your exit, you have to annihilate that hope. You have to stare down the raw, ugly reality of the person who manipulated you, lied to you, abused you, is not going to become a decent human being because you walk out a door. Fixing them is a fantasy that you have to kill, because fixing them is what got you here in the first place. Prepared yourself for a war mentally and emotionally. The backlash won't just be from them. The narcissist knows how to weaponize the world around you. Friends, family, coworkers, all can be pulled into the smear campaign. Doubt will creep in like poison, seeded by your own memories that try to rewrite the abuse as love or even your fault. And this mental rewiring, guys, is not optional. It's the foundation on which your entire escape is built. It's quite literally like putting on armor that doesn't just cover your body, but it shields your mind and soul. So if you don't build that first, the moment you leave, that will all collapse. Your protection against anything emotionally, psychologically, or physically. You need to become bulletproof, a fortress with walls so thick that no gaslight, no manipulation, no lies can ever penetrate. This is what we talk about inside of the Reinvent, Rebuild, Redeem membership, because it's not just about walking away. It's about walking away with your mind, your heart, your sanity intact. The mental game isn't about being nice to yourself at the time. It's about being ruthless with the bullshit narratives you've been fed. It's about saying no to guilt and shame and hell yes to your fucking freedom. Having a steel mindset is going to be the piece that stops the narcissist's last-ditch effort to drag you back into hell. I think a lot of people would label this mindset work. I don't think it's mindset work. I think it's mental toughness and acceptance and radical self-love and understanding while peeling back the layers in a community of women who are on a same or similar journey that are willing to support you in building your resiliency and your confidence, understanding your truth so you don't get pulled back into their chaos. So here is the tactical blueprint to getting out without getting more hurt. This is not about grand gestures or dramatic exits. It's about small, calculated moves that keep you safe and in control. Document everything. Records of abuse, threats, text, emails, DMs, any incidents. You will need this if things continue to escalate. Create a safe exit plan. Where are you going? What will you take? And who can you call for backup? One of the best things that I ever did when I was trying to leave my marriage was to share a exit plan with a girlfriend. There was a code word. She had the layout of my home where my son and I were in the house, like our bedrooms, and the names and numbers of people she would need to get in touch with if I sent that code word alongside the local RCMP office. Financial independence is a hard one to talk about. I talked about it on the episode last week where I shared more of my story about becoming the narcissist's worst nightmare, that I built a business that funded my exit plan. And I can teach you to do both. I can teach you how to heal, how to start a business so you have the funds to leave when you are ready. Things like separate bank accounts, saving money secretly, and understanding what your financial leverage actually is. When it comes to legal protection, a lot of people have opinions about lawyers, and I get it. I had to go through a lot before I found one that was willing to fight with me. But it's important that you know your rights, consider restraining or protection orders, and have a lawyer lined up if you need it. Building your safety crew. This could be trusted friends, family, therapist, a whole plan for your kids or your pets. This is not paranoia, you guys. This is preparation, because narcissists are experts at sabotage. They will try and spot what you are doing, and your safety actually depends on you outsmarting their games. So if you've been waiting for this moment to feel ready, when the stars align, when the timing is perfect, when they've behaved badly, when the harm's been too much, stop. The only moment you'll ever feel ready is the moment you decide you are ready. Narcissists are not waiting for you to get your shit together. They are estimating your next move. And you need to move smarter, faster, sharper. Every move you make must be deliberate, covert, and tactical. Grand exits with dramatic announcements or last-minute confrontations, they're the fastest way for you to be in harm's way as a target. You're not leaving the relationship. You are extracting yourself from someone who has preyed on your emotional state. Documentation is your ammo. If your safety, the custody of your children, or your freedom depends on it, have the receipts. photos of injuries, recordings of threats, screenshots of text messages. I want you to gather everything like it's a weapon. This is not being obsessive over evidence. It's about having undeniable proof that keeps you protected when the narc starts spinning lies. Your exit plan isn't when the time is right fantasy. It's a hard, unflinching map of exactly where you're going and how you'll get there. It's like logistics on steroids: packed bag, rider range, phone charge, code word set. All safe spaces are identified for you. Having a safe space to go to is one thing. Being protected physically and logistically is one thing. But your emotional preparedness, your brace for the fallout, is equally as important. This is going to feel like a trauma tsunami. You are going to have intense guilt for leaving your family or removing your kids from your family. There's going to be a fear of being alone or starting over. The narcissist weaponized charm hitting you like a freight train. There's doubt and second guessing your decision. You may feel isolated from mutual friends or family. This is why you can't do this alone. This is why community matters. Emotional prep means you have the tools to ground yourself, people to lean on, and a coach like me. He knows exactly what this fallout feels like and how to keep you not just standing, not just surviving, but thriving this. It's not a clean break. This is going to feel like a collision between your past, your fears, and your body's desperate attempt to survive the unknown. The guilt will grip you. And not just like leaving the family, but you're going to feel selfish, broken, like a failure. Those thoughts are going to be a narcissist's greatest weapon against you that is meant to paralyze your indecision. The things that they said are going to play on your brain, but here's the truth. You're choosing yourself. And that is the bravest, most radical act of love you could ever give yourself and your kids. Inside of our membership is the space where emotional fallout is welcome. We teach you how to hold your ground in the storm, how to rebuild your identity piece by piece, and how to shield yourself from the mental warfare the narcissist will wage on you when you walk away. This part feels the most brutal for my clients, but this is the moment where the breakdown starts to meet the breakthrough and your transformation really begins. I work with a lot of women who have this idea that the leaving is going to be the start of their comeback. There's so much to unpack and reveal and dig into when it comes to awareness and reconnecting with yourself to rebuild a life that you love. Leaving safely is just the start. The real power is in the rebuild. How you reclaim your time, your space, your mind, your soul, your body. How you rewire your nervous system with somatics and daily practices, breath work, movement. How you build your identity outside of the narcissist influences, your hobbies that you've probably left untouched, friendships that you've been missing out on because you're isolated. Maybe it's even starting a new career. You learn how to set fierce boundaries with yourself and with others. You create a stronger sense of radical self-love. Rebuilding is your ultimate revenge because you become a woman that is so clear, so grounded, and so unshakable that a narcissist wouldn't even want you. Leaving is the first bullet, but you actually reload it for the comeback. This is where your power ignites. You grow into the understanding of what your presence and creating self-safety and defining your own freedom on your own terms. Your body has been a battlefield, but now it gets to be a sanctuary. You'll learn to listen to it, honor it, and nurture it back to life. None of this is optional, by the way. I don't do surface level healing with my clients. There are no quick fixes, no band-aids. We dive into tactical strategies and soul level transformation so you never return back to the abuse you experienced. Your comeback is your ultimate revenge, and it also starts with you reclaiming every single piece of yourself, louder, prouder, and fiercer than before. If this episode hit something in you good, that means you're waking up. Share this with another woman who needs it. Subscribe, leave a review, and send me a DM on Instagram to let me know what landed for you and if you need further support. This is the Narcissist Worst Nightmare podcast, and your comeback starts with leaving smart.